The principles of fire stopping and compartmentation are relatively simple in terms of actually dividing properties both vertically and horizontally to enable the integrity and the insulation to be maintained. The process of compartmentation enables one unit to be isolated from another in the case of a fire instance. The principle is that fires should not be able to spread from one property either horizontally or vertically. At a tight zone like this slab edge here, this is where it gets most tricky. Yes, you've got a cavity barrier sitting in roughly this position here where these brackets are. However, when it becomes more tricky and challenging is where you have penetrations like balcony connectors and other penetrations through the facade, which compromise the continuity of that. And it's important that, though that is dealt with as a fire stopping issue, to avoid any compromise in the continuity of that fire barrier. In doing so, there's multiple ways you can approach it. One is by stepping it down, but that can be challenging in its own right because it may need a down stand on a slab, which means a more tricky casting detail. In this scenario here, we can use a fire stopping material called a StubGuard, which slides on either side of the arm and maintains that continuity. The barrier goes into the side of the StubGuard and continues around, meaning that you've got one continuous break there, which enables both the insulation and the integrity to be maintained. The alternative is there are solutions like this one here, using small sections or using fireboards which can be built around top and bottom, but those are very dependent on the skill of the labour. They take a long time to assemble, and unlike the StubGuard, which is a CNC routed shape which fits perfectly over the balcony anchor, these are made from sheets which need to be cut. So the continuity of that fire barrier is very dependent on the competency of that labour and getting that piece right. The other thing is that testing these products is very, very critical to the success of different applications. The anchors may sit in this position relative to the top of the slab in this job, but another one, they can be in a completely different area. On a detail, for example, you've got a transfer slab or you've got a different slab thickness, that could be significantly different. And it's important that all of these scenarios are tested, and not just tested in the scenario, but tested with different products which interface with them. So you've got different manufacturers, different solutions there being tested. All of this information on StubGuard can be found, and we even live stream some of our fire tests to give you that full picture of what's happening there. But the principles are simple, but the reality of how they interface is the important thing which you need to get right.